Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to learn about Java programming, and we start from basic to advanced, and we follow all the step-by-step ways and concept that required to learn the Java as your core language. Okay, so starting with what is Java actually? Like how Java comes in market after the C and C++, and the use of Java programming in company, and how Java actually come in market. So if we talk about the Java history, Java history says like there was three scientists. First one was James Gosling. Second one Mike Sheridan. Okay, I think Shrei Sheridan. And third one was Patrick Nocton. Okay, these three scientists come together and initiate the Java program. Okay, in which year? In year 1991. Okay, 1990 1991. Okay, this was the year when Java comes in a market, and these three scientists were working as a small team of Sun Microsoft engineer. Who they all are? They all are the scientists of Sun Microsoft. Scientist of which company? Sun Microsoft. Sun Micro. I mean Sun Microsystem. Sorry. What was the company name? Sun Micro System. And they introduce as the Java introduction, like how the syntax and all these things. And Java was originally designed for small embedded system in electronic appliances. Means that initially the Java was re- actually Java introduced as and working for what? For working for a small project, like you can call it at small algorithm making and all these things, and for the IoT devices, for IoT, and some of the electronic appliances, like you can say like automatic bulb and automatic door. In that way, this Java was usually working for. But after that, after few years, what happened? It is become in the demand of enterprise software. Okay, whatever the software that you are seeing nowadays, like uh, some of the software like JVM. I mean, let's take the example for like AWS and Azure. These all are the software that is basically built on the Java architecture, or called JVM architecture. And this, okay, in earlier Java was not we call as a Java. Okay, in earlier time we are not calling the name Java as the programming language. This was called as OIC. Okay, and what is OIC? Actually, OIC is a symbol of the strength of national tree. Okay, the OIC is a what was the OIC? OIC was the national tree of USA, France, France and German. This oak was the national tree of USA, France and Germany. Okay, Germany. And what happened next? One of the scientists think like, let's change the name of the uh, Java, oak, to some another name, and they come up with the point like, let's take the name of Java as the island in Indonesia. Okay, Java is the island in the Indonesia, and the name of OEC converts to Java in 1995 as the name of the island, which is present where in the Indonesia. Okay, this all are the basic introduction about the Java history and Java. Let's begin with new concept of Java. So Java has multiple editions. Java is not only used for mobile application, enterprise and standards. There is a multiple edition. Java is not a single programming language. You can use this programming language of Java in multiple architecture. Okay, Java can be used as mainly three ways. First one is what? J2SE, and it is also called standard Java standard edition. Okay, Java standard edition as the J2SE, and second one is what? J2ME, Java mobile edition. Whenever you're using Kotlin and all this thing for the Android development, that thing was developed from the J2ME architecture, Java mobile applications. Okay, and third one is J2EE. Okay, J2EE, J2EE, and this is the enterprise application for enterprise applications. Nowadays we are not totally depending on the previous standards for this thing. For this one, J2, for this one J2SC, Java standard edition for simple console based application. Okay, for application for mobile development, we are moved towards Kotlin kind of things. Kotlin and Android Studios programming that we are using. That is Kotlin, the advanced version that we are using here for as a Kotlin. And second one is this one, Java Enterprise Application or Jatkara double two double E. Okay, Jatkara double E. We call this Jatkara. Okay, and now we move towards what? Spring Boot. Actually, Spring Boot is based on the Spring framework, and Spring and Spring Boot called as a new version of enterprise applications. Okay, for fundamental purpose, we are going to learn this thing. For the fundamental purpose, we are going to learn this thing. Okay, for fundamental purpose, we are going to learn Java and they're all the fundamentals, like what are classes, objects, and inheritance, interface abstraction, and uh, and and all the collections, and all are the lambda expressions. This all the things we are going to learn here. And after that, we're going to make multiple things in the standard edition, like on console based application. After that, when we require, then we move towards this thing, like for enterprise applications and for the mobile application. Okay, now moving forward. So basically, to run your first Java program, how to run first Java program. To run your first Java program in your machine, to run your first Java program in your machine, what are the basic things that you are required? First, whether you have a machine. Basically, to run a Java program on machine, first of all, you what you require? You require a machine, and machine can be a Linux based, Unix, Mac, or some of the person using Windows like me. Okay, and it's not depends on the versions, like, but basically the standard versions, if you have standard version, and that will beneficial for you. Okay, then second thing that we require to run a Java program is what? We require what? JDK. Okay, and what is the JDK actually? JDK is a Java development kit. Java development kit. Okay, or you can call this as a Java dev kit. Okay, this kit helps you to run your compiling, interpreting, all this purpose that the Java program things can do, can helps from JDK folder. Okay, this is how you are going to run your first Java program. And inside your machine, to run your Java program, that you also required one terminal or editor. What you required? Editor to write your program. And second thing that you required was is what? Terminal to show the output. For what? For which kind of output? For the output that Java standard editions produce. Okay, that output is being seen on the terminal only. Okay, now for the to install the editor, you can move with Notepad, VS Code, or any other um, standard editor that you fit with. And to installing the JDK, you're required to visit the Oracle website. Okay, and on the Oracle website, you're required to search all the things that you want to install the JDK. And moving forward, like, let me show you JDK download. Okay, this Oracle is the company that sponsors Java. Here you will find what, like, for which system, for which machine that you want to install the Java, like whether you go with Linux, Mac, or Windows. Like if you move with Linux or called Windows, then you are required to install the x64 installer for the Linux. you are required to install what? x64 compressed achieved Debian package. You can also move with Debian package. Okay. For this, after installing this, you are required to set as the, after you install this, you will find what? Inside your local device, like here you will find all the programs that you have. Let me do it for, okay, like program file. Here you will find the Java after installation, and you're required to open the JDK 23 version. Then inside the bin folder, inside where when you come here, after that you are required to copy this bin folder and paste in the environment variable. You're required to paste the copy this required to paste this in the environment variable, so that your computer or your machine knows that JDK has been installed in your system. Okay. After that, whenever you run this JDK editor program, whenever you run the editor program, that this environment variable tells terminal that Java JDK is installed successfully. Okay. So moving forward, let's see about what are the features. Okay, what are the features of Java? Like, why should you prefer Java as a backend or any programming language? Let's see the features of Java. Features of Java. The mainly, then it will become very easy to understand you. What the heck? Wait for a minute. Okay, like if you have knowledge of C and C++, then you are not get the that much issue in syntax error. Okay, you will find easy to write the code. Okay, like in C++, what happened, you have the basic knowledge of object and classes in C++. So that C++ is a object oriented programming, but C is not that. To enhancing the feature of C, we introduce the C++ with OOPS concept. What are the OOPS concept? Object oriented programming, like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. We are going to learn all these terms further. For basic now, you have the knowledge of C++, or you don't have knowledge, but the thing is like when C++ was working, it was easy to write codes and all this thing, but it's not able to fulfill the user uh, expectation. Like it's not able to deal with the real life problem, like bank management or any kind of system design is not able to handle that. To overcome that, we introduce with C++ with OOPS concept. Okay, with partial OOPS concept. It's not fully, but it was partial. Now, after this, now after this, we introducing the what? We introduce the Java. We introduce what? Java program with fully Java program with fully oops. Like it's 100% oops. Like every code that you are going to write in the Java, that's follow the oops concept. Like from the making the classes and object and constructors, everything. Okay. Now next feature of Java is like what? Like it is user friendly and really used in like all this thing. That from here we understand that Java is come from C++. So the concept of C++ also be used in the Java. Like some of the concept are not been inherited in Java, like pointers, like multiple inheritance. Okay, these things, this type of concepts are not in Java, but some of the concepts are similar in Java, and some of the concepts are removed from the Java as it was in the C++. There is no need to remove unreferenced object because there is an automatic array collection. But like you have seen that whenever you writing the code of Java, I mean C++ for the classes, okay, and whenever you require to initialize the reference to your variable or your object, you always be using the what allocation and deallocation, memory allocation. You are generally required to managing your memory by your own self. But in Java, it's not like that. In Java, you have the feature of garbage collection that automatically allocate and deallocate the memory for your objects and your variables. Okay, that's why it's called simple. Like there is a no headache of removing and writing the memory for your. Okay. Second thing is like object oriented. We seen that how the inheritance work, like everything concept, how the C++ is a partial oops concept, follow the partial oops, and Java is a fully oops, like a fully object oriented, and C++ is about partial object oriented. Next important and very why Java is known as the best language. The thing is like it's system independent. Okay, or call you can call is like a platform independence. Platform independence. Independent. Okay. And why this is a platform? INDEPP. Okay. Why it's called as a platform independent? Let me tell you. Like whenever you write your Java program, so first of all, what is the extension for Java file? .java file. Okay. Whenever you write the Java file, it's going to compile. Okay. It's going to compile by the what? Compiler. Before this, I would like to so like whenever you're writing the C++ program .cpp, what happened there? Whenever you're writing this your C++ program, that's going to compile by the compiler, and after the compilation, compile, and after the compilation, what they got? We are getting what? Direct binary code, like or called machine language code. Direct machine level language code, so that our machine, okay, so that our machine can understand it. Okay, our machine is able to understand and run accordingly. It's mean that whenever you require to run this same code, same C++ code, you require a new system. Okay, every time you have to send the .cpp file, like for system 1, for system 2, for system 3, for system 4. You're just going to send the cpp file. Okay, and what happen every time it's going to compile, if there is a bug or any compile time error, every time every system is getting that error, and for that reason the performance is going to decrease. I'm not comparing with the speed, I'm comparing with the performance. Okay, performance is going to decrease. Okay, in the cpp. What happened in the Java? In the Java program, whenever you write your Java, not in the Java program, in the Java architecture, when you write the Java profile, the same thing happened for the first time, like it's going to compile it all. Compile. After compiler compile the code, it's convert it into what? 0 and 0 1? No, it's going to convert it into dot class file or called bytecode. You can call this as bytecode. I will show you how bytecode is being seen after we compile it. And after that, we are using the JVM architecture. What we are going to use, the major thing was JVM architecture. JVM, and what we call it, the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine. And what JVMs do? JVM going to interpret it. And how it's going? First time it's going to compile it. It's converted into a dot class file, and it's going to interpret, and it's going to convert. After the JVM interpreted, it's going to convert it into machine code or native code. Okay, now machine is going to understand this. It's mean that every machine is required to install the JVM. Okay, every machine is required to install the JVM. Whenever we are going to send the file or called program to new machine, we are not going to send the Java file. We are only going to send the dot class file. Okay, we are only going to send the dot class file, and this dot class file is going to interpret on the every machine, and its performance is higher than the .cpp file, because every compile time error has been detected in the first phase of compilation. Understand? So now moving, so that's why it's called platform independent. It's not depending on the any platform. Like now here, when you are going to change your program, like cpp file is platform dependent. Like every platform is not going to, every platform needs a new architecture, and every architecture required a new compilation, and it's reduce the performance. And for the JVM, for the Java, it's a platform independent. It's, we are not focusing on the any platform. Like dot class file is run on any architecture. Dot class is run on which architecture? JVM architecture, and JVM architecture is same on every platform. Okay, so moving forward, like let's see, and why we like security. it's more secure than any other language, but not more, but thing is like it's secure. Secured. Why JVA? I mean, sorry, JVA. Actually, Java. What? Actually, Java is the best known for security. Like why we? Because we because it's developed with a virus-free system. Like JVA. I mean, Java is secure because no explicit pointer. We are not using any pointer. No use of no use of pointer, and Java program runs inside a virtual machine. Okay, Java program runs on which? JVM. So no one can access that program, like no one can interpret the program or modify the program at the runtime. Okay, so it's runs on the JVM, like it's run on the virtual architecture. Okay, and third thing why we call it more secure, like we are using class loader. And what is class loader? Class loader is responsible. I will tell you what is the use of class loader in the Java. When I am going to teach you how Java program is run inside the JVM. At that time, I will tell you how class loader works. Like class loader helps into loading your all the static variable, static method, and static block, so that and whatever the final keywords that you are using, that are run initially before the main method run. The class loader do all the basic and the fundamental things of your program initial phase. That's why it's not able to modified by any other system. And security manager, how security manager is hired? Because here we are not just using the three modifiers like publics, private and protected. Over that we are using multiple access modifiers. Okay, like final, like interface as and all this, all other things I will tell you more detail in further. For now it has these features like no use of pointer. That's why it's secure, because it's not accessible by at the runtime. And the same thing is happen, like why we are not going to access the pointers, because it's run by the JVM, and JVM is a virtual architecture. And how virtual architecture is responsible to not being hacked or not been modified the source code by using the class loader. Class loader runs the program before the our main program runs. Okay, and how class loaders work, by why how what is the use of class loader here? And class loader enhance the security of our Java program. So that's why it's called the secure. Now, third term that comes in the mind after the secure, it's robust. What is the mean of robust? Actually, robust simply means like a strong, like their syntax are strong. Like we are following what? We are following uh, uh, style sensitive, a case sensitive language. Okay, it is a case sensitive language, so that and all the things that we are going to uh, create here, that are robust. How Java program is robust? First one is what? It uses strong memory management. For what? Strong memory. Strong memory management. After that, why we are using it as a strong memory management? Because we have automatic garbage collection, garbage collector. Okay, It's mean that the memory that are not in the use, that going to delete automatically, or called dereference automatically. No, not called delete. We can call it what? Dereference automatically. Any object, any variable. Okay. After that, there is a lack of pointer to avoid security problem. Like how pointers creates unsecurity in the program. Like it does, because it don't have what? Pointers. So our security problems are resolved here. Lack of pointer. So we are not majorly focused on the variables or objects reference. Okay. In C++, what happened whenever you're going to creating a simple linked list program, at that time we are required to reference every nodes by ourselves. Okay, but in the Java program, we are not going to handle all these things. That's going to handle by the what? That's all going to handle by the GC, garbage collectors. Okay, and that's why all these things are handled by the garbage collector. That's why there is a garbage collector. That's why this is a robust, because of garbage collector, automatic garbage collector. Okay, automatic, because of automatic garbage collection, it is robust. And there are exception handling. Like what is exception handling? Let me tell you. Okay, what is exception handling? Like your program is like to take the input from the user. Okay, you have created your program. Okay, and it's a role to take the input from the user, like string input, like string 8, and this input is used for what? Name. Okay, and my user sends what? If my user sends any character, like something like this, and this character definitely not being a name of any person. So when this character is going to store in the database of our data DB, database, this become a hectic for us to managing the data in a synchronized way or any in order, because this is not a character name. To handle this problem, we are using what? Exception handling. What we are going to using? Exception handling. To handle this problem, we are going to use what? Exception handling. And what are exception handling? Like whenever if you have used the exception handling, like try this. In this try, whatever the thing that we require to check, if at the time of comparing things, if we find any unexpected error from the code, then we are going to catch it. Catch with exception, like E, and with the program. This is how we are going to handle the exceptions in the Java program. Hope this is clear you all. Okay. Or why we, and then next, why we call this robust? Because of the concept of, okay, exception handling. And exception handling is also helps into checking the types, like whether like this is a string type, and if we are trying to send with a integer type, at the time it's also going to find the catch the error and save the ecosystem of what ecosystem of our database. So next thing that we're going to learn is why Java is called as Java architecture neutral. It is a architecture neutral. We are also calling Java as a architecture neutral. And why we are calling this? Because Java is a architecture neutral because there are no implementation dependent feature, like for example size of primitive type is fixed. Okay, like why? Like Java is not just using the program of Java only. Like if you have the big project, like if you have the big project in which some of the project sharing the program of C, C++, and Java. Okay, and the integer size of every program is different on the basis of architecture. Like integer size, of C may be 4 byte, and this may be some of the time 2 byte or anything else, and some of the Java versions consider as a 4 byte or 2 byte, anything else. Okay, but this thing is like at that time our system is not one our system is not going to understand every uh, size of integers. Okay, that's why we are using what that's why we are using JVM to make this all the code in the same byte code, not JVM, Java compiler. That's why we are using Java compiler to make all this code into same type. Means every integer of Java after compilation take 4 byte only. Not 2, not 3, no matter. What's the architecture of other language follow. But after the Java compiler, when it's converted into bytecode, every variable of integer going to consider the 4 byte. Okay, we will focus on this. For example, in C, like occupy 2 bytes of memory. Okay, in the 32-bit architecture, and 4 byte memory for 64 byte architecture, and it's occupy and in Java occupies 4 byte for memory for 32 and the 64 byte architecture both. Okay, that's a reason to make platform independent. To make a platform independent, we are using this thing so that it can run on every platform without have headache of 2 byte, 3 byte or 4 byte things. Okay, so moving forward, like Java program is also called as a portable. And why this we call this portable means? Portable means what? like it's a and doesn't need any requirement. Means what? You can run the Java bytecode on every platform. That's why we call this what? Java as a platform independent. It also a portable. Why this? Why it's portable? Platform independent. Okay, because it's a platform independent. That's why it's a portable, and it has high performance. We have already talked why the Java program has high performance, because it's not going to compile the program and get compile time error for every architecture. Basically why we consider as a multiple architecture here, like when the system of all the programmers are compiled in the same bytecode, where we are going to run this bytecode in in every system? No, we're going to run this bytecode on the server or any called cloud. Like if you heard the term Docker containers, in the containers we have JVM, and that JVM runs the program for every system, so that whenever you run your Java program, whenever you run any Java program or Java based application on Linux, Mac, or any other architecture, that can run easily. That's not required to change the architecture for every system. That's increase the performance on the server. Okay, that's the reason it's is more high. It has high performance than C++. But C++ has high speed because they are not required to compile and interpret the code. Okay, that's the reason. High performance. Okay, why? Because Java is fast than other traditional interpreted programming language, because Java bytecode is close to native code and it's still little bit compiled language and all these things. Like it's thing, the main thing that I have told you now, like this thing, this is the reason of high performance. It's not going to compile multiple times for every system. Yes, there is a interpretation, but interpretation is more faster than compilation. That's the reason it's faster on this is faster on the containers that we are going to deploy and all these things. We are not consider this speed and performance in our program, like in small based Java standard edition. We are not checking this thing. We are checking this thing for enterprise based application. Like okay, on the enterprise based application we required more performance, otherwise server cost will bankrupt the company. And Java is distributed because its facilities user to create distributed applications. Okay, Java has a distributed environment, like a user can create multiple application using the Java program, whether it's a mobile application, web application. Okay, and it's like let's write the distributed. Why it's called distributed? Because of J2EE and because of J2ME, mobile interrupt. in mobile edition and call J2ME and J2EE. That's why we can create use this program on multiple distributions. And the other thing is what? It is multi-threaded. Like why it's called multi-threaded? Because thread is like a separate program, like executing concurrency. We can write Java program that deals with many tasks at once by defining multiple threads. Okay, whenever a system is going to run a program, why multi-threaded? You can use as many Java at once, not even dependent on the single program. You can run multiple programs inside the program. Okay. So, and another thing is like it's dynamic in nature. Why it's dynamic? Because Java is a dynamic language. It supports dynamic loading of classes. Okay. Why it's dynamic? Dynamic loading of class means what? Means whenever your programs run, Java programs run, class loader helps it to make it dynamic. Like it's going, class loader is going to run the basic static based methods, static with variables, static with blocks that runs before the main method. And whenever you require to change something over your program, you can change it by this. Okay, every time JVM is going to run your program, and every time when you require new things, you can add the feature here. So this is called dynamic, and it's also going to dynamically memory allocation. Okay, dynamic compilation. Is there support of dynamic compilation? And the dynamic memory allocation. That's the reason we can call this Java program as a dynamic. So this all are the things that we basically need to understand the Java, like how Java come in 1991 by the Sun Microsystem, by their scientists like James, Mike, and Patek, and how Java names changed in 1995 from OEC to Java. Then what are the editions of Java? Like there is standard edition, mobile edition, and enterprise edition. And the mobile edition is become advanced versions of Kotlin, and the Kotlin, and for the framework for what, like Android Studio, all these things. Okay, and for the J22 Jatkara, that's the new name. J22 is Jatkara, and Jatkara is comes into the Spring Boot and kind of the architecture. And how you can run the program over here, like how we see where you can download an installer of Java, and how you're going to put the name in the environment variable and runs all the program. So this all are the thing that's all the features of Java, like what is Java, and why Java calls a fully object oriented, and why C++ is called the partial object oriented. Okay, platform independent, like Java is a platform independent, and C++ and all other languages like C and C++ are platform dependent. Why this is happened? Because uh, the compilers only understand the .cpp program, and here also the compiler understands the .java program, but whatever the architecture that we're using in the Java is a JVM that helps in the interpretation of the language of .class language. That's a bytecode. That is a platform independent. Then we understand why Java is a secure, because there is a no use of pointer. If there is a no use of pointer, any hacking or any miscellaneous activity not going to interpret or modify the memories. Okay, not going to check the basic memories from the heap. And another thing we are going to use the sorry. And another thing is what we are going to use the JVM. JVM is what? A virtual architecture, and that helps us. JVM is what? A virtual architecture that helps to hide all these things like pointers and all the memory allocation. And the class loading, like important, like static variables and static based programs runs before the main method woke up or uh, start. Okay, and that's the reason it's a secure and it's a robust, like it's high quality of code. What does a robust mean? Robust means the Java is okay. I will see you again there. Wait for a minute.
मैंने भी पेपर बनाए यार, तो क्या सेक्सी पेपर बने भैया?
हाँ बे,
मेरे तो सेक्सी
देख यहाँ पे स्लिपरी है।
हाँ?
देख क्या है यहाँ पे आराम से। चुप पे आराम से ओए। हाँ रुपेश, हाँ भाई, अरे चल ना लाउडे ना भाई, रुक गए यार, वो कल दे दियो मेरे को। रुको तुम गलत साइड से आ।